Okay, what's going on, everybody? Well, today I have a special video for everyone. I've been talking about doing this for a week or so now, and I'm finally getting around to it. I am starting my WWE slash TNA Peak Value series today. It's basically going to be a series of videos highlighting young or unestablished talent in both companies and based off of their abilities, how far I think they can go in the business. Now, we all know that anything can happen and that these companies can make stars out of people, but this is going to be based strictly on their talent and how much of a star or how much of a star they won't be in the future because of those abilities. Um, there's a lot of talent going around in both companies, and I'm actually pretty excited for some of these guys to finally get the chance to do what they do. But the guy that I want to start the series off with is probably the most popular pick at this point. One of my favorite wrestlers, Dolph Ziggler. The show off Dolph Ziggler at that. Well, we all know about his wrestling ability. Um, he's a really good wrestler. Well, I wouldn't even say he's a great wrestler. He's a good wrestler, but he's good at selling, and that's really important. Mic abilities, of course, still need work. I do believe that WWE is holding him back on the mic. I've seen him out at times outside of WWE and then on WWE Download where he just seemed more comfortable and it didn't seem like he was reading something that he rehearsed 100 times and it just seemed natural. And the guy does have some mic ability. He's not going to be the greatest mic worker you've ever seen. He's going to be at best average to just above average. But you know what? He's got the talent in the ring to go along with that, so it really isn't a great big deal. The one thing that gets me with Dolph Ziggler is that well, not just people, but me too, we all crave Dolph Ziggler to kind of reach that next level and take his potential to the next level. I don't see Dolph Ziggler as a transcendent wrestler. He's not going to be a guy who changes the game. And that's the one thing that holds Dolph Ziggler back. He's on the smaller side as far as stature goes. He's like I said, he's not a great talker. He is good in the ring, but he's not great in the ring. He's good at selling, and people get that mixed up with wrestling ability. I do know that for a fact WWE has watered down his moveset compared to what he used to do back in his earlier days. But at the same time, something has to click with Dolph Ziggler at one point where he says, "Okay, it's time for me to." He's been showing people, but at a certain point, he has to just be like, "Okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make a statement. Whether WWE likes it or not, I'm going to go out there and make a statement." He's Mr. Money in the Bank, of course, and eventually, I believe he will cash in. But my question is, in what situation? I'm only gonna do this for Dolph Ziggler because he's probably the one guy that everybody wants to talk about. But I think he should cash in as a face. For me, my ideal situation would be for somehow you have him and Randy Orton on a team. You have some type of match where him and Randy Orton are involved in it, and after the match, Orton punts Ziggler, and you take Ziggler off of TV for a month. Yes, a good month. And over that month, that gives Dolph Ziggler a chance to kind of get his face character into fruition and work on it and get some taglines down and his promo style and add some different moves to his moveset as a face. And then during that month, you have Orton really healing it up, and you have Orton get that belt, and you have him, I mean, super heal it up, punting people and everything. And then out the blue, one night, Ziggler comes back and he cashes in his title shot on Randy Orton and gets the belt. And then you let those guys go on and have a series of 3 championship matches. I mean, the first one can just be a regular match, and then the second one, you could move on to something more like a no disqualification match, and then the third one, you let these guys go out there and tell a fucking story. A 2 out of 3 falls match, an Iron Man match, any type of match with that just involve wrestling, not too much gimmick and shenanigans. Just let these guys go out there and wrestle. It also gives you a chance to separate Ziggler from AJ and Big E Langston and let those guys do their own thing. And maybe down the road you have Big E Langston, the big monster heel, versus Dolph Ziggler. You never know. So, yeah, I do think Ziggler is a main eventer. I wouldn't put him in the top tier of main eventers as far as the guys I see coming out in the future. At best he'll be a regular main eventer, but I just don't see Dolph Ziggler as that guy to carry the company. Now he could be if they booked him right. He could be the guy that carried the company, but then again, there's still nothing transcendent about Dolph Ziggler. We've seen good wrestlers before. We've seen guys with smaller statures before. And we've seen guys with average mic skills. So there's nothing about Dolph Ziggler that sets him out as far as historically, but in today's terms there is. So yeah, at best Dolph Ziggler will be a regular main eventer, nothing transcendent, nothing that changes the game. I am pulling for Dolph Ziggler. He is one of my favorite wrestlers, like I stated earlier. But yeah, I would love to see Dolph Ziggler turn face. I think his peak value in the WWE would be as the top babyface, in my opinion, because of his stature, because of his look. I think his peak value would be as a top babyface in the company, trying to overcome the monster heels. That's classic booking, wrestling booking 101. You have the smaller guy, the babyface, the sympathy story, try to take down the dominant monster guy. And I think that would be best served for Ziggler. As a heel, Dolph Ziggler will never be a top guy. Even if you put the belt on him, he won't. His run won't be memorable because of number one, the way WWE books their heels, and number two, there's nothing about him that just screams heel. Outside of the chicken shit he does in the ring and outside of the ring, there's nothing about him that just screams, "Oh my God, this is a dominant heel." Even with his mic work, at least CM Punk can heel it up on the mic. Dolph Ziggler isn't great at heeling it up on the mic, so that's another reason why I see him best served as a face. So in my eyes, Dolph Ziggler's peak value in the WWE is as a top baby face. If you disagree with me, don't be afraid to comment on the video, dislike the video. But at the end of the day, this is just a series of videos with my opinion on where I see some of these guys going in the future. Once again, I am the Mad Genius 313. You can follow me on Twitter at that handle, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment on the video, and thank you guys for listening in.